Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Vlog from a Desk in the Astral Realm. I'm Endeavorance, and I'm coming to you not at all live from the Astral Realm. This is the first episode of this series, and I'm hoping to make it the first of many. This is an experiment for me, and it's a new format, so we'll see how it goes, and it may evolve over time. But let me tell you how I intend for this video to play out. For this episode, I've got 5 sections planned: history, personal, gaming, community, and you. In that order, I'll be going through things that I have on my mind, stuff that I would like to tell you about, and just general good vibes. If you were looking for a place on the internet to be a human being while still hearing about stuff in general, you found it. I won't shy away from current events, and I won't filter my actual thoughts about things, because that's why you're here in the first place. You're watching me to see what I have to say about stuff, and thank you for that. With all of that ahead of us, I do want to take a quick moment to just announce that I have launched a Patreon. It will be linked to in the description of this video. I would be ever so grateful if you were to head over there and check it out. If you do end up subscribing, you are among the most incredible people on the planet. Thank you so much. And regardless, I really appreciate your support. But with that out of the way, let's jump right into our first section, history. On this day in 1882, on your planet in the city of New York, the Pearl Street Station opened its doors for the first time, providing electricity to paying customers and making it the first commercial power plant ever. The plant opened apparently illuminating just 500 lamps across customers. That's the only thing they set out to do, illuminate lamps. And they used coal and turbines and whatnot to do it. And they did it. That's pretty dope. It's also really funny to think about the fact that they made an entire power station and they were like, yep, what we're gonna do is power just lamps. That's the goal, is lamps. But hey, at the time, that was the hotness. Despite seeing significant growth in their customer base over the years, they did not last very long, because 8 years later, they burned to the ground and only one turbine even survived. That's apparently now on display at a museum. Whoops. But hey, it was the 1800s. Buildings burning down was basically a pastime. But anyway, that's history. Moving on to our next section, personal. I'd like to take a moment and reflect back on my own life and share a story with you. I visited my parents yesterday. I'm lucky enough to be in driving distance to them. And as I was coming home, I was reminiscing about the times that I had as a kid, where my father enrolled me in the Boy Scouts of America, Cub Scouts, all that good stuff. We went camping, we did all sorts of activities, and that made a huge impact on me. I want to dig into this a little bit because I am now about the age that my father was when he enrolled me into all that stuff. He really did a lot for me in that, and he was my Cub Scout leader when I was doing Cub Scouts. Then he was an assistant scout leader when I transitioned into Boy Scouts. He was constantly involved in all that stuff, and that took a lot of energy, and I don't have that energy. Probably good that I'm not a father. Now, I loved my time with the Boy Scouts. I absolutely loved learning how to camp and start a fire and tie knots and be self-sufficient and leave no trace and respect nature, all that good stuff. Really wonderful messaging all around. It is very unfortunate that the Boy Scouts of America, the association itself, is terrible. They are a fundamentally religious organization, and they are notorious for being quite exclusionary for people who do not fall within their specific guidelines of how people are supposed to be. And that is a damn shame, because that's pretty antithetical to a lot of the messages that I was taught as a Boy Scout. I personally know several Eagle Scouts who have effectively renounced their relationship with the BSA, and rightfully so. It's hard to realize the exact impact of what your association with some organization is going to be when you're a child. Especially when Eagle Scout is kind of held over you as this pinnacle accomplishment. When you're in the Boy Scouts, the concept of hitting Eagle is a huge deal, and they really hype it up. And it's not a bad thing inherently. If you are an Eagle Scout, you should be proud of that. Having that level of focus and determination as a kid, it's commendable. And the BSA has slightly improved recently, but not to any degree that I'm comfortable endorsing them with. So I want to leave you with this. One of the most important things that the Boy Scouts did for me was create reasons for my family to go out and do stuff, particularly things that were outside and involved being with nature. They built within me a respect for my surroundings and a love for natural beauty and just everything that's out there. I love going hiking and camping and cleaning up trash just because I want to make the world a little nicer for everyone. And these values are fundamental to me, and they transfer into every other part of my life. Establishing a strong understanding of the connection between being a human and being on this planet rather than being a human who is using this planet, I think that's important. So everything is messy, the BSA is bad, but what they do is good, and Girl Scouts are trying to figure their stuff out too, and maybe we shouldn't dupe children into being indoctrinated into things, like, I don't know. So instead, let's move on to gaming. Now, gaming is something that I'm very passionate about. It's what I do to unwind, and one of my top hobbies is being a game developer. I find it incredibly rewarding to build interactive experiences and tell stories that bring people some joy. That's what I'm all about. Now, unfortunately, gaming is often synonymous with toxicity. So, I would like to try to change that and talk a little bit about the games that I'm currently playing, games I currently want to play, and just general thoughts on the space. Today is going to be pirate themed, and I can't quite get pirates out of my head recently for some reason, so this is not the last time that I'm going to be referencing pirates. But let's start with the game that controls my life, Destiny 2. If you are not familiar with this burning addictive mess of a video game, Destiny 2 is a game by game developer Bungie who made Halo. Destiny is effectively online MMO Halo. It is a fun game. You are a space person. You fight aliens. Sometimes you work with aliens. Sometimes you fight your friends. It's a fun game. The story in this game is told episodically from expansions and also seasons. And the current seasonal story is all about pirates. Literally space pirates. Like, they have an opening cutscene where you're in like a seedy tavern and one of the characters literally is like, hey, it's pirates. It's called Season of the Plunder. Like, it's just straight up pirates. So I'm not going to sit here and talk about Destiny and all the specifics therein. I do recommend trying the game out if you want to hate yourself. But I want to talk about pirate games in general. Now, I am currently downloading Sea of Thieves. I know about the game, I have not actually played it, and I very much hope that I really enjoy it. But Sea of Thieves, to my knowledge, is not the exact pirate game that I've been asking for a long time. And I don't actually know if this game really exists, but let me talk about this, because I have a pitch. And for all I know, after recording this, I'm going to go play Sea of Thieves, and it's going to be exactly this, and if so, I will report back, and I will geek out about it. But here's my pitch. Assassin's Creed 4 was a damn near perfect pirate game. If you just got rid of the Assassin's Creed part, it would have been really good. And like, it's still my favorite in the Assassin's Creed series, but I do not like everything that's not just, yo-ho, I'm a pirate. So hear me out. Take Assassin's Creed Black Flag, remove everything that's not just being a pirate on the seas, keep the little mini game where you're managing a fleet, but expand on that. And then just make it really good. Like, really good. Get rid of any mission that is not explicitly awesome pirate stuff. I do not want to be creeping through the bushes listening to a long conversation. That's not pirate stuff. I do want to shiver me timbers, yo-ho, land-ho, set sail, all that good stuff. Just do more of that. I want, specifically, a perfect single-player pirate game. I want Skyrim, but you're a pirate. I want big open world that is just waiting for me to explore it and waiting for me to just dominate its oceans. And I want to be the center pirate in all of this. I like the idea of online pirate game. I like the idea of being a pirate crew with my friends, but I just want to boot up a game and sit back into my cozy pirate adventure. I want to play exactly at the pace that I want to play at. I want to roleplay exactly how I want to roleplay, and I don't want anyone else to have to be involved in the slightest. I'm hoping that I can kind of get that experience from Sea of Thieves, but we shall see. I have tried for years to find this game. I have played Sid Meier's Pirates, I've played a whole bunch of different mobile games. They just don't get there. I want like AAA quality, single player, very good pirate game. Give it. I want it. Don't make me make it. I should just make it. Give it. Okay, moving on. Community! We're getting further along in this here vlog. Let's talk about community stuff. I will use this section in future episodes to feature art and events and whatnot that's happening in the Camp Endeavorance community. If you are not familiar with Camp Endeavorance, it's my Discord. I highly recommend that you join it, because you should. In this Discord, we have people who share in art, writing, food, all sorts of stuff. It is a collaborative sharing community, and we all kind of hype each other up. It's really great. I'm in a bit of a pickle where I have not actually announced this vlog series yet, so I don't have any art from the server that I've gotten permission to show you. I will in the future be poking people and asking them if I can show their art on my vlog. I would love to be rounding up the best of the art and recipes and food and whatnot from the community and sharing it here, So if you're interested in having your stuff displayed, join the Discord and see you there. In addition to the Discord, we also have a Minecraft realm that's in survival mode, and people are just kind of vibing in there as well. We also have a bunch of mini games that you can play and host events in there every now and then. It's a good time. So if you like Minecraft, come play with us. And that's it for the community updates. Now I'm going to move on to the final part, you. I would like to leave every episode with a parting thought that just gives you something to noodle on, and specifically something that you can potentially use to better yourself and just make your life a little bit more comfortable. In this case, I want to give you a bit of a challenge. Take a moment and think about something that you've been ambiently interested in but haven't really had the time to dive deep on. For me, it's, again, pirate stuff. Told you it'd come back. Tall ships. I'm really into old pirate ships and sailing ships and tall ships. I think they're gorgeous. I think they're beautiful. The sounds they make, the creaking of the wood, the way they sail, it's all truly incredible to me, and I just love it. I love the aesthetic. It's just, I want to live in a big tall ship. But here's the thing. I've always loved it from afar, like an ambient respect for it and a general love for the aesthetic, but I have never really dived deep into learning about them. So I'm going to make it a point to dig back into this thing that I'm interested in and actually learn about the mechanics of tall ships and how they're crewed and what the different types actually mean. I would also like to think that I'll at some day ever finish reading Master and Commander, but that book is long and I read slow. So do the same thing for you. What is a thing that has just been of general interest to you that you haven't taken the time to dig more into? Take that time. And that brings us to the end of episode 1 of Vlog from a Desk in the Astral Realm. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm still going to be hammering out the specifics of this format, so things may change moving forward. For now, this is just going to be a YouTube series. I may turn it into a podcast eventually. Like I said, it's all experimental, but one thing at a time. So be well and take care of yourself, and remember that there's no one way to live. Remember that no one can tell you that you're doing something wrong if you are enjoying your life. Take care of each other and sail the 7 seas. Be well.